In the game Twilight Struggle, the Iron Lady is one of those weird events where the event effect seems to mostly help the opponent, in this case the USSR. While its effects are generally pretty mild, it's still important to know how this card should be used, and we'll take a look at that here today on Legendary Tactics. The Iron Lady is an event that is mixed, benefiting both sides in different ways. There aren't many events like this, but it's a good idea to know how this card could potentially be used against you. Let's take a look at it closely now. First of all, the event. The Iron Lady is a starred 3-op US late war event. Triggering the event gives the US 1 victory point, adds 1 Soviet influence in Argentina, and removes all Soviet influence from the UK. It also blocks the Socialist Government's event, which is rendered no longer playable. Please note that if you play this event and get an influence in Argentina, unless you already have influence there, this then does not allow you to immediately play influence into neighboring countries. The reason for this is that you can only play into adjacent countries where you have influence at the beginning of your action round. For the USSR, unexpectedly, this is a great event for you. While losing the ability to play socialist governments is unwelcome, this card is one of the ways that the Soviets can access South America and potentially challenge a battleground. If that's what you're looking to do, you may want to headline this and follow up with your first action round battleground country coup in Argentina. Or you can take the operations points and force the US to respond to the threat created in Argentina. Obviously, if you have socialist governments in hand, you will play that first before you play this card for ops. The other event effects can be lived with. While losing a victory point is never fun, it's not a huge deal, and it's very, very unlikely that you will lose any influence in the UK. So unless you're going after Argentina, you will likely be playing this card during the action rounds for the 3 valuable operations points and triggering the event. For the US, it is likely that you will play this event card for the operations points. This is especially going to be the case if the Socialist Government's card is in the discard pile. There are some very specific circumstances when you might trigger this event. For example, if you are really close to winning, really close to losing, by the War Games event or otherwise. If you have already given up hope of controlling Argentina. If you are worried about the Socialist Government's event destabilizing a fragile Europe. Or if, for some bizarre reason, the Soviets have competed with you for control of the UK. It may be an okay headline if the space race has granted you the ability of seeing your opponent's headline card and they have chosen to go with socialist governments, or if you strongly suspect they will be running with that card during the headline phase. If you have socialist governments in hand, it's probably not worth triggering the event here in order to make it safely playable. Essentially, this benefits the Soviets more than you, and you don't get any benefit in terms of ops. Much better to play the Iron Lady for ops and send socialist governments to space instead, perhaps gaining some victory points that way. You may want to over-control Argentina in anticipation of this event being played by the Soviets. You wouldn't want to lose control of a key battleground if you can help it, especially at the meager cost of a single influence. For the most part, it is not worth foregoing 3 ops for a single victory point, and at the same time potentially putting a key battleground in South America at risk. Do what Maggie Thatcher would do, and take the operations points. So for the Soviet player, this is a card you will certainly take for ops, or perhaps even headline in the right circumstances. This is the rare US event which you will be generally happy to trigger. And for the US player, this is almost always a card you will play for the operations points, unless very specific circumstances, as I outlined earlier, apply. This is our analysis of the Iron Lady event card in Twilight Struggle. We hope you found this useful and interesting, and if you did, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.